Hey guys, my name is Bryce. Today I'll be doing a revision video of the new 2016 Lava Beast. The first part of the design process, how much I can change about this toy without actually going just totally crazy. What I have for my design constraint is just pretty much a food scale, which I end up using in turn to weigh the toy and then find out kind of a plastic budget, roughly, equating to how much material is going to be used, so I can't really go beyond that number. Otherwise it would just end up being a toy that would be, packed with probably more features, but it would be at the expense of just being more expensive. So to start off, let's just get this on and set it 0. Alright, so it's zeroed in. So Lava Beast weighs 4.5. That's not a ton to work with, but I'll see what I can do. So what you're going to see next is my revision. So the backstory behind this one was that I thought I'd embrace the fact that this is not in fact a phoenix, but much rather some sort of demonic magma bird, and really more sort of emphasize on beefier arms and more bird-like legs essentially. So what I ended up doing, as you can see, sort of going over the visuals first, is that the legs are quite stout because this is a creature built for flight and for fight. Even though I kept the claws the exact same as the design before, the fact that they can actually bunch up into a fist I thought was actually quite interesting. Also the fact that the action feature I kept the same, where there can be sort of a punching motion back and forth even before the blades are activated, which, as you've seen in the past video, are quite fearsome. So in terms of flight, I imagined the sort of silhouette of this creature in the skies would look something like this, and that's kind of what I was going for. I've certainly seen a lot of good MOCs as well where it's adopting even more of like a bird-like feature, but I figured for this one it's certainly a difficult balance to walk between fighting a lot of creatures that are basically based in land, aside from Lewa and a few other examples. But as you can see here though, by having these legs quite short, they don't actually take up all that much weight. Speaking of weight though, that leads me to sort of the earlier part of this video where we had actually weighed how much my MOCs are going to weigh compared to the original sets, and the general principle of that is just to see what the budget is like. So given all the creature features, let's see how much it weighs if I stayed in budget. Excellent, so 4.5, exactly the same as before. Now that we're at this point, it's time to go over the details which are a little less noticeable. So one thing you may have noticed is missing, of course, is the horns, and that was a really unfortunate sacrifice I had to make in order for the rest of the weight to work out, especially with the arms, because having these massive forearms, it also has to compensate for the weight of the back that's been added. In theory, if this were a set, you'd be able to have a full shadow trap assembled from even the parts included in the rest of the set. But I like the idea of having scaling on the back, and it also just gives a slightly wider profile and everything. Also, as you can see on the back, there's a little more pieces actually keeping the jaw together, and the reason for that is not only did I want to keep the head still something that can sort of tilt and turn around, but you actually have quite a lot of flexibility in the way that the head can move about. So you can actually fully turn and even turn up, which I thought was important for actual flight and everything. But as you could probably guess from me moving it around, the jaw actually can be moved and posed. Now, I don't know whether or not the beasts at the moment actually have an ability to do anything speech-wise other than just roar, but I like the idea, at least for photos and things like that, or for stop motion, that people can actually pose the jaws up and down. Even though this one's a little bit shaky, the design that I developed for the Crystal Beast, which has a little bit more weight that it can take, I think has probably the best example of the way that you'd actually be able to articulate this face. So that wraps it up for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and please give me feedback on what you think of the MOC. I'll be having a Quake Beast video and also a Bruiser video very soon. I'll also be hosting them on the same sort of set because they all sort of have that subterranean theme. And I'm also curious to know what you guys think of each video sort of side by side, because they're all, as you can kind of have from like a little spoiler here, they all sort of share the same color schemes and everything, so it'll be interesting to see them kind of in sequence that way, so I'll have them on like their own little playlist as well. Until I see you then though, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.